Now, judging by this video, I'm sure you're wondering, why am I actually playing a free-to-play game, gacha game, and not like an Apple Arcade game? And we'll get to that probably later on if I remember. But besides that, I just wanted to talk about how Apple Arcade could be a game changer when it comes to mobile games. And the reason being is because, well, if you didn't know before, Apple Arcade games, they don't have microtransactions or gotcha systems or loot boxes or anything of that sort in their games. They are just premium games that once you download, you can just play it. There's no daily logins, there's no gotchas, there's no loot boxes, and it's just beautiful. And it reminds me of the old days of video games where there weren't any of these microtransactions and loot boxes and gotcha systems in video games. When you got a video game, that was it. You got a complete game that you can play from start to finish without feeling like you need to put money into it to have a better time or more fun, fulfilling time, or any of these time savers kind of things that Ubisoft has been putting in their games where you can buy experience and perk points or whatnot. These are actual complete full-fledged video games, and I love it. I personally don't have an account with them. I haven't played any of their games yet. I plan on doing it once there are some more games on the platform that have some kind of interest to me, because as it is right now, there are only like a few games that interest me. So I wanted to wait till the library got bigger, but I can see the potential that it has from afar and what it can be in the future and the meaning and impact it can have on video games. Now, as we all know, iPhones are getting stronger and stronger, faster, more reliable, usable, whatever, every year. And an example of that could be that the iPad now has the power pretty much of an Xbox One S. If you have seen Apple's presentation, I think it was last year, where they were showing that NBA 2K, I'm guessing 19, was playable on the iPad Pro. And it was very impressive. It looked like a really good, fun, full-featured game. Well, I'll take that back. I'm sure it has some sort of microtransactions in it, but that's besides the point. These phones and iPads are getting insanely powerful quickly. They're only going to get even more powerful quickly, which means that we're going to have essentially more powerful Nintendo Switches in everybody's pockets. Well, everybody that upgrades their phones and iPads fairly often. So what does that mean for gaming? Well, that means we'll get even better looking games, probably bigger games now that Apple has shaved down the file sizes of apps and updates. Let's get better gaming experiences, and that's very exciting to me. The only thing that hasn't been very exciting to me were the, well, loot boxes, gotcha systems, and microtransactions that are plagued in the mobile gaming world. Which sucks because I do love mobile gaming. It allows me to play games when I'm out and about and on the go, which I am quite often out and about and on the go doing something, so I can't always sit down and play video games in front of the TV, which is why I love my Nintendo Switch so much. I take this thing pretty much everywhere I go. But if I'm able to not be able to bring it, I would love to do so, because as much as I love my Nintendo Switch, that is one extra piece of technology that I have to bring with me places that I really don't want to bring with me places. Now, we'll get into the real meat potatoes of this video, and that is Apple Arcade, which again, no microtransactions, no gotcha systems, none of that stuff for these premium games. Now, why I think it would be a game changer is because there are already thousands of people signing up for Apple Arcade, and everybody that has reviewed Apple Arcade has said that it is more than worth the $5 a month, which I guess would be about $60 a year, which is probably admittedly more money than people will typically spend on video games, well, mobile video games. But it could also be a huge money saver for a lot of people on the mobile games front because of how much people spend on these gotcha loot box systems in these mobile games. You know, you have people spending thousands of dollars on like just one game trying to draw people or whatever from the gotcha loot box system, which is insane. So, I mean, if we could save those people all that money and they only spend $60 a year, I'm sure they would be very happy. And personally, I really hope that loot boxes and gotcha systems will go away. And Apple Arcade is a way to help make that a reality because developers can create high quality, gotcha free, loot box free video games and still get paid for it. They don't have to worry about making money as much as they used to when they had to do free to play video games. Now, the reason why I'm playing this gotcha loot box video game, Fate Grand Order, which I love this game and I also hate it at the same time. So, what I'm hoping that will happen is that these loot box games will go on the wayside and perhaps these developers will make these same kind of games, maybe even make a Fate Grand Order Apple Arcade version of it, where people can just get these characters without having to pay money into this gotcha system. They still get paid. People playing their games will be happy, and everybody will be happy. Everybody. Now, I'm not sure how Apple Arcade developers get paid, but it must not be too bad if there are developers that are putting games up on there. So again, back to what I was hoping is that these developers will create these games like Fate Grand Order, or my personal favorite, well, it's tied first place with Fate Grand Order, is Star Ocean and Amnesis. They'll make Apple Arcade versions of these games that people can download and not have to worry about the gotcha loot box system. Or if they do still want to have that kind of system in there so they can keep it the same spread across, an idea that I have that they can implement is that keep the loot box system in there and obviously take out the ability to purchase any of the premium currency and just up how much premium currency that people can earn if they're playing the Apple Arcade version. Just like double, triple, or even quadruple the amount of premium currency that people can get by playing the game naturally. So whatever they have, like Apollo gems when there is maintenance and such, instead of giving out like the 3 that they typically give people in Fate Grand Order's case, they can give people like 12 sync quartz every time they have maintenance. Or when they have campaigns, when they give away like 10 sync quartz, they can give people on Apple Arcade 40. Or whenever people finish levels in the story mode, they can give people, I think they give 1 quart each time you finish a level or a story chapter, story section. They give 1, give people 4 or 5. You know, just up how many of those, just up how much premium currency people get for certain things if they're playing the Apple Arcade version. I feel like that would be more than enough to replace the fact that people can't buy the gems or premium currency on the game, because let's be real, these games, they like to give you a bunch of premium currency up front, and then after that they starve you of it, hoping to push you to buy more of it. But this way, developers can keep that same system, but make it better for the people on Apple Arcade that are paying for it. And, you know, maybe even raise it. I mean, this is just me being greedy, but maybe even raise how much premium currency people get on Apple Arcade by more than what I said, because it's already hard enough to get premium currency in these games, and I feel like even with that 4 times multiplier, it would still be really hard to get the characters in the games. But that's just me, and that's just me seeing the problem with how these games are built and developed. They're made in ways to push people as hard as they possibly can to buy premium currency. But I think this idea would make everybody happy. They can keep their free-to-play model, selling these crappy loot boxes and gotcha systems. At the same time, provide people that don't want to pay for that a way to play the game still without having to worry about that in Apple Arcade with a premium experience in their game. I just think it's a win-win for everybody. They can still make tons of money on gotcha systems if they want, even though I hate them. And they can still make money on the Apple Arcade side of things and make their customers extremely happy. That way, people will even want to talk about their game even more, maybe even get more people on the Apple Arcade system, and maybe they'll get paid enough on Apple Arcade where they'll feel like they don't need to have this free-to-play option and just get rid of loot boxes. That's all I really want at the end of the day, is for developers and publishers to get rid of these loot box microtransaction gotcha systems. And I feel like Apple Arcade can be the way to do that. if they do the things that I just kind of mentioned. Create an Apple Arcade version of your free-to-play game. Give, give way more premium currency in the Apple Arcade versions if you want to keep the loot box system in the game, because the loot box random draw system can work in premium games. I like to always take a look back at Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where there is kind of a loot box system in the game, and there's no way to buy the crystals needed to make the summons of the blades, but you can get plentiful crystals in the game to summon these blades. So there is a way to make it work, with it being a premium way of doing it, without the ability to buy microtransactions, and for it to still be kind of fun. Because I'll admit, sometimes it is kind of fun to do these random draws. I like to do them when it's all free. I hate to do them if I pay for them, which I personally never pay for these microtransactions. I never do. Well, I'll take that back. I have a few times, and I learned my lesson very quickly to never do it. The only time I really put money into it is in Star Ocean Anamnesis, and that's because that's like the most free-to-play friendly, best-looking game that I've ever played on a mobile app store. But that's all besides the point. Like I said, Apple Arcade can be a game changer for mobile games, and I really hope that any, if not all of the developers will listen to this and think, this is a good idea. Let's create an Apple Arcade version of our free-to-play game and make money that way, as well as doing a free-to-play way. Because with the way things are going in the government climate, it's looking like loot boxes, microtransactions, and gacha systems are going to take a hit at some point. So I think if it's going to happen, developers and publishers should just jump on the train of Apple Arcade, save themselves from having to deal with the growing pains later on after things are put into effect, and still make money and make customers happy. You can keep a live system kind of deal going and provide the kind of live system updates that have been going on already in Apple Arcade and still make money and keep people coming back and play your games. That way, I'm guessing playtime and player count will equal how much money you'll actually make in Apple Arcade. I'm not sure, again, how they make money. My guess is that they make money based off of how many people are playing their game and for how long. But like I said, I don't know. I'm going to be signing up for Apple Arcade pretty soon. It seems like there are some more games being added fairly recently that I want to check out, so the library is getting better. But that's just my thoughts on things on Apple Arcade and how it can change the game for things. Tell me what you think down below, and if you agree or disagree, tell me why. I'd like to hear, read what you said, and have a civil discussion about this. I might make some more videos on this because I just really want to pound the message home, or drive the message home, however that saying goes, that Apple Arcade can be a game changer, and developers and publishers need to get on this. And if they want to make their games like how they are now and have kind of the same kind of code across, so they don't have to work as hard trying to run two separate games on both free-to-play and Apple Arcade, that's the way to go. Just make an Apple Arcade version of the same system. Just kind of increase the numbers of drop rates and how often you get premium currency and how much of it you get. Just increase some numbers. I'm a programmer myself, so I know it can't be too hard to just increase some numbers for a separate build. Just create a separate build of the same thing and change the numbers a little bit. If you're doing it correctly, it shouldn't be too hard. Anyways, that's all I have to say. I'll catch you in the next video.
いきます。甘い。さあ、覚悟なさい。主の御業をここに。お任せを。
マナーのなっていない客よな。
我が旗よ、我が同胞を守りたまえ。弓のしてエテルネール。撃てー。
せ場だ。任せるがよい。見せ場だ。任せるがよい。オリンピア・プラウデーレ、祭典の席を上げよ。
了解。押し切ります。
劇場は海より来た。見るがよい。これぞ誉れ歌うイルステリア。